Hey there, tiny truckers. Adam with Bigfoot RC here, coming back at you. Hope everybody is doing good out there. I thought we'd do a quick little video on the Blazer build. I was hoping to get something put together a little earlier this week, but I was fortunate enough to be out at SEMA for a few days and checking out all the coolness over there. So if you want, go over to my TikTok channel, Bigfoot RC, and I got some cool SEMA videos up there and RC crawl videos and all kinds of fun stuff. So anyways, this is where we left off last week there. We had done some mods to the chassis to get the Blazer body to fit over, but as we can see, it's not sitting very level. And we still got to do some more cutting and chopping, especially at the inner fenders on the front and the back, and then narrow up the back of the chassis a bit. So bear with me a second. I'm going to set the camera up, and we'll tear into this thing and start doing some cool stuff. Thanks. All right, like I mentioned, guys, we last week we mated the body to the chassis, get rid of the hood there, and what we did last week is essentially we just measured and chopped off the back of the chassis to make it fit. So I mentioned last week too, I was thinking about running the semi tires, and they were a bit too tall, but you know what? I think this is going to be what we're going to do with the semi and the dualies on the back there. So to do that, we're going to have to remove the inner fender on the front. And also, like we mentioned last week, the back is still pretty high. And the main reason is, I don't know if you can see it in the video or not, but the inner fenders are making contact. So we're going to have to do a lot of modifications back into the bed, but I want to get some of the chassis done first. I think we're going to have to do a bit more to the chassis before I decide to cut the bed off, and we'll get into that later. So anyways, first thing we got to do is take the body off. Like I said, it's just pressure fitted on right now, so it just pops right back off. And then we got the chassis right here. So we're going to take off the inner fender on each of the corners and go from there. And I'm just looking at it, and I'm wondering, once I cut that front inner fender off, what kind of support there's going to be up front. And there's not a lot. It looks like the cross member up here to the frame rails. So maybe we'll do a wee bit of measure and see. I do have to take off a fair amount. So I think what we'll wind up doing is I'm going to take off kind of the top cap here, but leave a connecting piece across, something we can build back out of later with styrene, I think. But anyways, let's get into this. I was thinking of using the Dremel to cut through, but I think I'm going to just use the old tester's saw here. So let's see what we can do. All right, we'll end up having to use a little bit of both on that one, but it's a rough cut. We'll clean it up after. I mainly just wanted to try to see if I had enough clearance to get these semi tires to be able to clear that fender or not. Oh yeah, right, these don't have a hex in them. So we got to figure that issue out later on when we go to adapt this over. So you can see, keep in mind we'll have to put a bearing or something in there eventually to get that on. But I think we're pretty close. I'll have to take that fender back a little bit, but you can see the overall height difference there. So the tires are going to sit pretty low in comparison to where that inner fender would sit. So we might take some more off. But like I said, really was nervous about taking the whole bit off because the whole front cross member is then just going to be attached by two little screws to the frame rails. So anyways, I'm just going to keep on cutting. Alright, so we got the front cut off. This side I'll have to trim up a little bit more, but again, the idea here was we just wanted to be able to make sure once we get this assembly on that we're going to be able to clear that fender from the inside. So looks like we're good all the way around. Definitely ain't going to be turning when this thing's slammed down to the ground. But you get the point anyway. So let's move on to the back. All right, there you have it. Didn't take much to cut the fenders down. Like I said, probably for the 15th time, though, I'll have to clean everything up, right? We'll get everything looking a little better. But the idea there was, especially in the back, now I've already measured it out, and I know I'm going to have to put some spacers on, but I wanted to be able to make sure that we were able to fully clear the fender on the inside, or cut out the fender for full clearance on the inside so we can get maximum drop there. So that's really it. Let me throw the 6.4 tires back on it, and we'll throw the body back on it as well, and we'll have a quick little look at how much lower we got it to sit. The back end should be, it won't be quite flush yet because we still got to cut out the bed of the truck and all of that fun stuff, but this is where we're at. So let me throw this back together real quick, and we'll have a look at what she looks like. So there you have it, guys. As you can see, it's pretty much laying flat at this point in time. Keep in mind, you know, it does have those little, I think they're true 13s or whatever they're supposed to be, but lots of clearance after we did all of our cutting and all of that fun stuff. My lights kind of turned off, but that's okay. The back end, same thing. We got lots of clearance. The only thing really keeping the body up at this point in time are the factory body mounts against the chassis there. But like I said, if you're just building a slammed out Blazer, this is not a hard, you know, project. You don't even have to, if you're not going with a larger wheel and tire, cut the bed out of this thing. I am curious though to see what semi tires look like on it. We can definitely get the fronts on, the backs. There's no way we'll get them tucked underneath because we haven't done any of the cutting in the bed yet. But let me throw those semi tires on and see a quick mock up what this looks like. So they fit. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna love this look. I think you know, did raise the chassis a little bit because these are pretty honking big tires, but we do have clearance all the way around. So you know, we'll have to do some more trimming and whatnot. Like I said, I'm not gonna do any work to the back until we get the body cut apart. But you know, I think the idea is going to be pretty sharp here, anyways. We'll have to cut out the body when we go to put the dually fenders on and do all kinds of modifications back there. But that's it for now, guys. I think I'll end this video here. It's kind of a quick one, and let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.